the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. That is a Carolyn Peck quote.
ESPN just found themselves in a heap of trouble at the Carolyn Peck
hates straight white women because they got an agenda.
WNBA fans send clear warning message to ESPN analyst who now wants to apologize for Caitlin Clark controversy. ESPN analyst Carolyn Peck is begging for forgiveness after her shocking statement that the Indiana Fever are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark, but fans are not having it.
Here in Iowa, we were the first to realize Caitlin's pull on fans. When do you think the WNBA fully realized what it had?
Publicly, I'm not sure that they really have. They certainly know, they have to know, Keith, but in terms of the comments, in terms of the way the commissioner, Cathy Engelbert, who I've known and I like.
Plus, veteran journalist Christine Brennan absolutely tears into WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert over her disgraceful treatment of the league's biggest star. Can you prove that ESPN has a hidden agenda against Caitlin Clark? Because by the end of this video, the evidence is going to be absolutely undeniable. If you're team Caitlin Clark, drop it in the comments right now, and let's expose this conspiracy together.
White pretty much like to do things the old way. And Caitlin Clark is a newer player, new age player. She plays ball dominant type point guard. And we know Caitlin Clark loves to run a read and react offense. And Stephanie White, she's really not a fan of the read and react. She's like this motion offense is what we've been seeing her run pretty much all season. Well, now since DeWanna Bonner been gone and Caitlin Clark been out, they're still running a motion offense. They're just running a.
Let's start with the statement that sent shockwaves through the basketball world and had Caitlin Clark fans absolutely livid. During ESPN's coverage of Indiana's recent victories, and I want you to pay close attention to this timing, both games were played without Caitlin Clark due to a groin injury. So here's injured Caitlin Clark fighting through pain, unable to defend herself on the court, and what does ESPN choose to do? They decide this is the perfect moment to question her value to the team. Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play, because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot.
The way she has trouble talking about Caitlin Clark, or if she's asked about Caitlin, then she will say, well, Caitlin and Angel. Well, she wasn't asked about Angel. You know, she was asked about Caitlin. This incredible inability to deal with the facts and to state the obvious. It is astounding to me how Cathy Engelbert doesn't come out after the Marina Mabry hit and say, that's unacceptable. The refs got it wrong. Okay, should have been kicked out then. You weren't, but now I'm going to kick you out. You're suspended for another game or two. That's just unacceptable behavior for someone who's so important to the league or to any player, right? They can't do that. They seem paralyzed. But it does make you wonder, me as a human being, what is going on and why is it still so bad and just so opposite of what any capitalist, company, capitalism 101. You've got someone here, run with it.
Did you catch that? More dangerous without Caitlin Clark. Not just different, not just versatile, more dangerous without the player who's superstar, without the player who single-handedly saved this franchise from irrelevance. Now, here's where ESPN's narrative doesn't just fall apart, it gets absolutely demolished by the cold, hard facts. And I want every single Caitlin Clark fan to screenshot these numbers because this is your ammunition against the haters. Let's start with net rating, the most important team efficiency metric. With Caitlin Clark, plus 11.9. Without Caitlin Clark, plus 2.6. That's not a dip, that's a collapse. Plus/minus statistics. With Caitlin Clark, plus 9.3. Without Caitlin Clark, plus 1.8. When she returned from injury, plus 8.3. Field goal attempts per game. With Caitlin Clark, 73.8 attempts. With 9.6 attempts. That's 14 fewer shots per game. The entire offensive flow disappears.
Channel, the GOAT back. We got the GOAT back. We got the GOAT back. Caitlin Clark is Bizak. Oh, yeah. My hopes is all the way up. I said last week, the only reason she didn't play Saturday is because she didn't get the practice.
But here's the kicker that ESPN conveniently ignored. Let's talk about wins and losses, because that's what actually matters. Against the worst teams in the league without Caitlin Clark, 4-5 record against the best teams in the league with Caitlin Clark, 5-4 record. Read that again. They're losing to bad teams without her and beating good teams with her. And here's the historical context that ESPN absolutely refuses to acknowledge. Before Caitlin Clark arrived, the Indiana Fever hadn't made the playoffs since 2016. That's 8 years of irrelevance. She comes in and suddenly they're playoff contenders. So let me ask you this. How is a team more dangerous without the player who ended their playoff drought? How is a team more dangerous when their offensive efficiency drops by 75%? ESPN make it make sense.
You were at that game just now. Look, the Fever have been on a tear. They've won 2 in a row, a 25-point blowout of the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final, and then 27 against the Aces in this one. And both of those games without Caitlin Clark. How is Indiana getting this done right now?
That Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons.
After the massive backlash, Carolyn Peck tried to moonwalk backwards faster than Michael Jackson. Her damage control attempt? Pure desperation. She posted on social media, "I did not say Caitlin Clark is not valuable. She's a great player for those who only see Caitlin. I was complimenting the rest of the team." Hold up. For those who only see Caitlin, there it is again. She's still telling fans how to be fans, even while trying to apologize. The fan response was absolutely brutal. Stand on your hate, Carolyn. You literally said they are more dangerous without Caitlin Clark. Your credibility is flushed down the toilet. We have the receipts, no backtracking allowed. But the ESPN controversy is just the tip of the iceberg, because veteran sports journalist Christine Brennan just dropped an absolute bomb on WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert that has the entire basketball world talking. Brennan, who's been covering sports for decades and has a new book about Caitlin Clark coming out, went absolutely scorched earth on Engelbert during a weekend interview. And when I say scorched earth, I mean she held nothing back. Here's what she said, and I want you to listen carefully. The way Engelbert has trouble talking about Caitlin Clark, or if she's asked about Caitlin, she'll say, Caitlin and Angel. Well, she wasn't asked about Angel. You know, she was asked about Caitlin.
Get TOs. You know what this is. Who is this? Oh, that's Oh, yeah. And what? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The GOAT is back. The GOAT back. We got the GOAT back. Yeah. Yeah, you see it. You see it. Don't act like you don't. Caitlin Clark scrimmaging 5-on-5 today, running the one with the starters. Oh boy. It's about to get active. We about to get active, y'all. Oh my gosh, she got tears coming to my eyes. Caitlin Clark is back.
Now let's connect the dots, because this goes way deeper than one controversial comment. There's a clear pattern of disrespect toward Caitlin Clark from ESPN and the WNBA establishment. ESPN's Hall of Shame ranked Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard, not player, just guard, in the league. Consistently questioned her value while profiting from her popularity. Promoted Angel Reese over Clark for Rookie of the Year when it wasn't even close. Made millions off Clark's highlights while undermining her impact. The WNBA's failure. Commissioner can't give Clark proper credit without deflecting. Weak response to dirty plays against Clark. Allowing veterans to openly disrespect the league's biggest draw. Promoting everyone except the player driving viewership. One commentator nailed it perfectly. There is no other media entity that hates them some Caitlin Clark like ESPN. Let's address the elephant in the room that everyone's thinking but afraid to say out loud. There's clearly an agenda here, and it's not about basketball.
But we all remember this take right here. Carolyn Peck, who is or Caroline Peck, who is a a known Caitlin Clark hater. I mean, hell, El Presidente Dave Portnoy at Barstool called her out, said this aged like spoiled milk. Ken Swift, of course, grabbed it after the Sparks victory, a game that, look, Stephanie White, something about her into the third and fourth quarter, it's not working. It is not working. And when you play down to your competition like that, a lot of times that is on coaching. I mean, the players get themselves up for a big game. It's the games where they should absolutely.
But here's the beautiful part of this story. Caitlin Clark is about to return from injury, and fans are calling this the beginning of her revenge tour. She's been participating in 5-on-5 scrimmages this week, running with the starters, looking healthy and ready to dominate. Her next opportunity to play is Wednesday. So here's my challenge to all the Caitlin Clark fans watching this video. You've seen the evidence, you've heard the bias, you've witnessed the disrespect. Can you prove that ESPN has an agenda against Caitlin Clark? I think we just did exactly that. If you agree that Carolyn Peck's apology is fake and that ESPN needs to be held accountable, smash that like button right now.
As of right now, the Indiana Fevers are the only women's champions this season. So everybody can shut it up. Everybody can relax, okay? Sky fans, go drown yourself somewhere. We're not thinking about y'all. Everybody else, take a seat.
Absolutely nobody saw this coming. The Minnesota Lynx entered the Commissioner's Cup final with the league's best record, a roaring sellout crowd, and a 14-point cushion from Vegas.
Por 3 puntos! There's the horn. Final score, Fever 74, Lynx 50.
Analysts treated Indiana like a sparring partner, a team minus rookie sensation Caitlin Clark, veteran leader DeWanna Bonner, and rotation big Damaris Dantas.
And to get the money.
They're a resilient group, man. They're a resilient group. They battle for each other every day. Every single day we have a chance to choose we over me, and these guys do.
The Fever limped in with ankles taped and shoulders wrapped 2 weeks earlier. They had surrendered double-digit leads and watched their assist rate crater without Clark conducting the offense. Minnesota appeared to be the precision machine. Nafisa Collier in MVP form, Cheryl Reeves' motion offense humming, the Target Center faithful primed for a coronation. Coach Stephanie White accepted none of the pity. Behind closed doors, she drew a simple plan on the whiteboard. Deny Collier elbow touches, blitz every Kayla McBride handoff, sprint after every rebound, whether it fell through the net or not, and share the ball until at least 3 passes preceded any shot. Then, she made a bold shift, sliding Natasha Howard into a point forward role.
The WNBA, they've had close games where they've completely blown the lead in the fourth quarter, games that they should have won. There's been drama on the outside, people wondering why DeWanna Bonner actually left, like what's going on in the locker room. There's just been so much.
Howard grinned, slapped the marker from her coach's hand, and announced, "If I grab the rebound, I am gone. Keep up." The green light flashed, nerves dissolved, and Indiana's bench clapped through shoot-around while the Lynx posed for television cameras. Seconds after the opening tip, Howard slapped away a lazy pass, sprinted end-to-end, and Euro-stepped Collier for the first basket.
The ball well, and the thing that impressed me most about this Fever team in last night's game was their defense. The defensive scheme, like whatever coach on the Fever put together that defensive scheme to shut down Nafisa Collier and also make sure that they had a hand up in all of the Lynx's shooters' face for every single shot. Like, they did a fantastic.
Kelsey Mitchell followed with a screen rejection and a pull-up 3. Sophie Cunningham stole an inbound, fed Lexi Hall for an uncontested layup, and Indiana led 9-2 before half of Minneapolis had found its seats. Cheryl Reeve burned an early timeout, stunned by the aggression. The underdogs were not hiding flaws, they were throwing haymakers. Indiana's defense tightened like a vice.
Positioning, our point of attack on ball screen defense was better. I would prefer to say our intensity was a little bit better. Our attention to detail was a little bit better. It's what we're capable of.
Mitchell clawed over every pick, Hull denied wing entries, and Aaliyah Boston roamed as a free safety. White's mantra, Guard Your Yard kept rotation chaos to a minimum, so shooters stayed blanketed. Collier found only 2 shots in the second quarter, both awkward fadeaways. McBride waited 17 minutes for her first open look, and her rhythm froze solid. Minnesota's motion offense screeched to a halt, players standing, crowd muttering in confusion. Stops became fuel.
Did y'all see Natasha Howard out there? MVP? Natasha Howard went crazy. You was balling today. 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Bro, you played a good game today. You made all your free throws.
Howard controlled the glass, dribbled into the open floor, and flipped a lead pass to Hull, who lobbed to Boston for an easy hook. On the next possession, Boston drew a double team, kicked to Cunningham in the corner, and the 3 splashed home. New signing Arie McDonald, 8 days removed from unemployment, exploded off the bench for a scooping and 1 and a step back triple that sent Indiana into halftime up 7.
We're off. Without Caitlin Clark, a lot of people said the Indiana Fever have absolutely no chance. I thought it was going to take Kelsey Mitchell to go off for 40. That's the type of effort I thought was going to be needed for this team to win the...
The building suddenly sounded more like a library than an arena. Minnesota's final push came at the start of the fourth. Collier muscled home a turnaround, McBride finally rattled in a 3, and the margin dropped to 7. White signaled timeout with eyes steady as stone. Out of the break, Boston slipped a screen, gathered a bullet pass from Howard, and banked it in. Cunningham bodied rookie Diamond Miller into a turnover. McDonald raced ahead for a Euro step finish, and Howard buried a pick and pop jumper before icing 4 free throws. Over the last 6 minutes, the Lynx found only 2 field goals. Final horn, Fever 74, Lynx 59. Howard's box line of 16 points, 12 boards, 4 assists, and 2 steals on perfect free throw shooting fails to measure the takeover. She quarterbacked every switch, erased entry lanes, and kept Indiana's tempo red-lined. Mid-third, she yo-yo, dribbled behind her back past Collier, and delivered a 40-foot bounce pass that left Mitchell alone at the rim. Her wink at Commissioner Cathy Engelbert while collecting the Cup MVP medal said it all. Beside her, Boston clutched a stat sheet showing 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists, each bucket arriving exactly when momentum threatened to tip away. Cunningham earned cult hero status. Her first corner triple drew an audible gasp, and she screamed, "Let's go!" at a courtside fan. 13 points, 7 rebounds, and relentless on-ball pursuit of McBride flipped 3 key possessions. Hull logged 8 points and 4 boards, plus 3 all-out dives that turned into Howard free throws. McDonald's cameo carried lightning inside it. 12 points on 7 shots and the step-back dagger that stretched the gap to double digits for good. Teammates mobbed her midcourt, the grin on her face worth more than any contract clause. Numbers glow neon around this upset. Indiana's effective field goal rate leapt to 54%, 9 points above their average without Clark, because 19 of 29 makes came either at the rim or behind the arc. 25 assists on 29 baskets produced an 86% assist rate that would lead any league on earth. Conversely, Minnesota managed 0.79 points per possession, its worst offensive night in 2 seasons. Collier's usage dipped 8 percentage points, and her turnover ratio doubled. Indiana won the glass 45-34, dominated transition 18-0, crushed the paint 10+, and outscored the vaunted Lynx bench 27-12. Every hustle metric reported the same headline: first to the floor, first to the ball, first to believe. Money sweetens victory. The Commissioner's Cup offers $500,000, roughly $30,000 per Fever player. White reminded her squad at morning shoot-around, "Win today, and you fund your entire offseason." Message received. Cunningham joked afterward that she would upgrade the family grill. McDonald promised new sneakers for every cousin on her list. Inside the locker room, cameras captured instant iconography. Clark, groin heavily wrapped, poured sports drink into the silver trophy, toasted teammates alphabetically, then shouted 6 words that detonated online: "Everybody in the league is sick." Laughter, mock coughs, and fogged camera lenses followed. The cry sliced through months of elbows, hard fouls, and jealous whispers. Indiana had just hoisted hardware without its rookie sensation.